Thanks for clicking. This is a very common question: who have a more power in company? Is CEOs really so powerful? And is anyone in the company who fires CEO? A common question perhaps, and although their roles differ, both have the same defined goal: ensuring the business is profitable and, importantly, sustainable. A high-profile example, often cited, is Bill Gates of Microsoft. In 1981, when the company was incorporated, Gates was appointed both chairman and CEO. This is a common theme amongst fast-growing businesses. The CEO has a dual role. Some 20 years later, Gates relinquished his CEO duties to Steve Ballmer, but remained as chairman. In short, the CEO is the company's head, and is put in this leading position to ultimately make decisions that guide the daily, and longer-term, course for the business. So what is the job of the chairman? Now, if that was true, then a great startup CEO would have much more power than a board of directors, because a great startup CEO is running the company, not the board of directors. Most companies will have several executive directors responsible for the day-to-day running of the business, and these directors report directly to the CEO. Above all others, the CEO is the top decision maker in the business, who will delegate responsibilities to their executive management team. This delegating of responsibilities happens so that the CEO can form the strategic plan, deciding on which markets to enter, forming strategies on how to challenge the competition, and in many cases choosing the right partners to execute the strategic plan. In most cases, especially in smaller or mid-market businesses, the CEO will more often than not be the founder. This is not to say that large companies do not retain their founder as CEO. Obvious high-profile examples include Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg co-founded the largest social networking site with college friends and serves as both chairman and CEO of Facebook. And Amazon, where Jeff Bezos rules as CEO till 2021, but he's still chairman of the company, and some would say king of retail. While CEOs do run the company, they are, at least theoretically, responsible and accountable to the board of directors and its chairman. The board is there to provide an evaluation of the performance of their CEOs, which will ultimately boil down to whether or not the company is profitable and/or succeeding. Remember that not all companies need to be profitable to be considered successful. See a recent list of so-called unicorns where losses often run to the tens of millions and even billions of dollars. But that's another story for another day. While the CEO makes key decisions, there are occasions like critical situations where they have to consult with the board for approval, more so in public companies with multiple shareholders. This means that a decision by a CEO can be overturned by the board. How often this is the case is another matter. A great startup CEO will have much more effect than the best board of directors ever will on the success or failure of a company. After all, you're there every day, working to build your company. You're intimate with every detail, every nuance of your company. There's no way a board of directors that you meet with every 6 to 12 weeks can have the same depth of knowledge about your company. But it only holds that a great CEO will have more power than the board of directors if the board is acting rationally. With the discussion above, one may feel the chairman holds the balance of power, and whilst on a technical level that is correct, especially in the USA where every company has a statutory requirement to shove a chairman, this is not, perhaps, reflected in many cases. In basic terms, the chairman is the head of a board of directors, and is in this position because they are elected by the shareholders. The overarching responsibility of the chairman is to protect shareholders' interests and ensure the company is run profitably and in a stable fashion. As well as stability and profitability, the chairman reviews the financial results and provides an assessment of the performance of high-level managers, including the CEO. Given this responsibility, the chairman has the right to fire senior managers like the CEO should their performance be inadequate. Like a board's non-executive directors, the chairman does not get involved in the day-to-day running of the business, but does hold the power to set the agenda of the board and influence the outcome of votes. The true power is always with the investors because they control the money. The board and the CEO can try and fight the activists, but more often than not, the activist investors will win their fight. The same holds true in startups. The investors, not the board, control the money, and you're out of luck if the investor don't have the money to support the company going forward, or if the partner you're working with gets fired and you lose your support inside the fund, or if the fund wants you to sell your company and you want to keep going. That's why your best chance of success as a startup CEO is to execute your plan. While the chairman technically has higher level powers, the CEO is indeed the boss of a company. And yes, the CEO does, by the letter of the law, answer to their board of directors, which is ultimately headed by the chairman. A CEO is concerned with executing strategies that have been approved by the board, so the ultimate fate of a CEO rests on how satisfied the board is with what they have done with the company. Then again, there are cases when both the chairman and CEO positions are held by the same person, as is the case with a lot of companies who retain their founders in powerful positions. I hope you better understand the whole story about CEO, and some serious business details. Please do subscribe for more videos about business. See you in the next video. Bye bye.